project. So this is separate from the leasehold discounts. This is a different project, and you've got to speak. So you've got 5 minutes from now to comment on this item also. This, by the way, is the legal report of the Liga.
The regeneration is supposed to be about regenerating the community as a whole. The regeneration estate so far is actually dispersed a quarter of the community. It's now having a health effect on the rest of the community, and plans to disperse at least a third to 2/3 of what's left of the community elsewhere. This is far from what the regeneration which people had actually accepted in 2002. And every time the regeneration moves, it seems that something changes to allow the planners and the developers to get more of the property so that there's less available for the current community which is down there at the moment. It's also proving that the original agreements which had been agreed to are being varied, so there's less opportunities for the leaseholders or their siblings to actually to stay in the community, in their properties or in the new properties, especially as the way that things are progressing, as there's been so many amendments now. Also, the fact that they're taking up York Memorial Park, which is already last year, where they closed it off for nearly 4 months when it was only supposed to be for 3 weeks, especially during the summer period and the school holidays. So the kids, the little ones, with their parents, and they had to trundle all the way across main roads to get to a park where they've actually got one in their own backyard, which they should have been able to use. And remembering that this is a war memorial which you're building on. It's not just a park, it's a memorial. It was left to the community in memory of the amount of people who died during the Second World War when the bombs were dropped on it. And flattened the buildings, and so the space was cleared, and it was agreed by all parties that no more further building would ever go on it as a mark of respect for the community that died there. You're building tower blocks on it. It's been given to the builders for nothing, so that's less green space which people have got. And as the government today have already commissioned that should be kept. There's also the fact that out of the consultation of over 5,500 people on different estates, 97% of them agreed that the park was the first and most important part of their estate. We need that green space for people to be able to communicate with each other, so they can mix with each other, so there's no barriers whatsoever. The park is the only place to do that. That's the central part of this estate. The other part of it is the fact that you're now pushing people, the social side of it is coming completely off the estate, where it was agreed that everybody would be peppered throughout the estate. You're now moving virtually all the social tenants off the West Hendon onto the Broadway, where Garrick Road. A lot of them, the majority of the improvements which are in the paper, which says this needs to be done, that needs to be done, getting rid of Garrick Road, could have been done without a regeneration. Those buildings would stand for at least another 100 years, longer than what the buildings which are now being put up will be. If they had been maintained properly. The people there used to look after those estates, because I was part of the committee that used to meet with the council every month, and we sorted out the roads, the cleaning, the bins, graffiti, if there was any, hooligans, the lot. That was a monthly consultation which we held, and that estate was one of the best estates in the country. Everybody knew each other, there was hardly any crime, if any, and if there was anything picked up, it was always notified. Now, because of the regeneration, it's been allowed to deteriorate to the state where you've got these maintenance programs which have had to come in, and the people there are suffering because of the insecurity. And people have been suffering for over 9, 10, 12, 13 years because of the insecurity of this regeneration.
Sorry, your 5 minutes is ended. I invite the Leader of the Council whose report this is to respond and introduce also his reports. So we're now dealing with item 12.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I accept that your comments, that your opinions are deeply held, and I respect you for that, and thank you for coming here tonight to express them. However, there is no doubt in my mind that that estate now needs to be rebuilt. And we have the opportunity to do that, and I believe we should just get on with it. As you said, people have endured years of anxiety about this, and there have been many unsatisfactory versions of the scheme, but finally we've got one that seems to be running. We should take it.
No way! It's not the people that live there.
And Tom Davey doesn't want
You
them
have
there.
no idea.
Are there any questions or comments regarding this report, Councillor Ramos?
Can I just get the background first of all? So, are you representing yourself here or a group?
I'm representing myself and the group.
And okay, so which group are you representing and how many members and how many sign-ups are you members?
Well, I'm part of the RRG. I'm also part of our West Hendon. The RRG, which is a regeneration committee, we've been on for a number of years. I'm also part of our West Hendon, which is the community, which is made up a lot of the non-secure tenants who have been dumped there, and because they've been classed as non-secure tenants, they've got no access to secure tenancy.
Councillor Ramos, just for one short time, this needs to be dealt with. I am Mr. Chairman, that this parcel is here, is legitimate to the residents, and can we please...
I fully appreciate that, but at first she just came up and I wasn't aware of who she was, hence why I said I was looking you up because I didn't know who you were, and I'd like to know who you are. I have one very specific question about the regeneration and your concerns. One of your excellent councillors said in the Light Times just a few weeks ago that the people who are moving are very happy with where they're going. They like the new place, they like what's going on.
Goodness.
Why do you feel different to your elected councillor who thinks that it's a good thing what's happening in West Hendon?
Rubbish.
Well, I don't know who the councillor was, but if you think that I'm moving from a tranquil, green and pleasant area with plenty of light, plenty of space, to being moved into a traffic island where you're in the back of the shops, you're constantly repairing vehicles, so you've got the exhaust fumes, you've got the toxic paint fumes, you've got the rats, the pigeons, the mice, the cockroaches, and the maggots, the flies, and you've got constant noise up and down the road. You've got the sirens going, you've got people who are drunk or whatever going across, and there's abusive language going out to all times of the day, and your windows are looking out to a brick wall. I mean, if you think that we're happy that they're moving over to that, I don't know who you've been talking to, but the people, they haven't got a choice, so they've got to go over there, or they won't keep their secure tenancy. There we are.
Obviously,
There was a
the
big fire.
development has gone through the planning process. The new development has been approved at planning, all the issues around light, green spaces, section 106, community infrastructure levy, all that malarkey has all been gone through certainly another committee, and I don't wish to have a repeat of that at this one. Any more comments or questions?
There was a big fire there.
Can we please approve the reports?
You don't need to, it's only for noting.
Just for noting, thank you. So the report is noted. I'd like to take items 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 13 to be agreed together. However, I would like to note on item 7, the first line of fees in Appendix A, the unlicensed skips, that's to be removed. Subject to that, I'd like to take all those reports together. They're straightforward reports. Can we agree those? Thank you. Items 11 and 12 have been dealt with. Item 6, which is subject to exempt information, again it's a straightforward report. Can we agree that one? Subject to the exempt section. Thank you. And I propose to go into private session.
Seconded.
Thank you. I'd like to ask all members of the public to now leave the public gallery, the press, and also any officers who don't have any relation to this particular item.